Hello, guys. Welcome to the Sports Joy. We are back with our preview of perhaps the most anticipated cricket game of at least in this part of the world. It is quite highly anticipated. There tempers will be flaring. Let's see if cricket will be of at that caliber or not. It's always going to be a question. Let's see if that goes that way or not. But we'll start with Afzal. We'll start. I know we have seen a lot of what Indian cricket have been doing, what our players have been doing. It's important to know what our opponents have been doing as well. We'll start with Afzal. Afzal, at least जितना हमने देखा है, there is Babar Azam, there is Mohammad Rizwan who are batters, worthy of taking note of. They are going to be a threat. But inke alawa, is there anyone who's really that much of a match-winning presence in Pakistan right now?
If you see their record in the past few games, they rely on their top order batting. And if none of those two openers in Babar Azam or Mohammad Rizwan fire, then this batting lineup looks slightly weak. They do have experienced players in Mohammad Hafiz and Shoaib Malik, but they don't instill too much of confidence in their batting lineup to score good runs because the pitches right now, even after a couple of IPL games being played on those wickets, they are still fresh. And here, a score of 130 or 140 won't be a par score and won't win you games in the earlier half of the tournament, in the first half. Therefore, you need to score at least 150, 160, and for that, at least one from Babar or Rizwan need to play a big knock. Otherwise, Pakistan don't stand a chance.
Makes sense. Yasho, coming to you, a lot of, especially in the Indian top order, was a little bit of a question, but I don't think it is anymore. Virat Kohli has confirmed he'll bat at number 3. Uh, do you think it's especially with KL Rahul's recent last 2 years, especially in the IPL, in T20 cricket, people have accused him a lot of, not especially that strike rate thing. I mean, I was just trying to put it in a very respectful way, but I don't think there is. People have been accusing him of
There
not
isn't any.
playing. People have been accusing him of scoring a lot of runs, but not really having an impact on the side. But there has been a slightly changed approach, at least since the last game that he's played against Chennai Super Kings in the IPL. He was decent in the England game as well. So, do you think that change in top order is something that it's a positive for the Indian side, or it's something to slightly worry about? It's not something to definitely worry about because we got 3 absolutely superstar players at the top. But do you think that hampers India by any chance?
No, I don't think it makes much of a difference. Rahul, for Punjab, although he plays a bit of a conservative role, for India, it's not the same thing. Even in the England match, you saw that he was playing fearless cricket. And I think Ishan Kishan, he was playing quite slow in the start. Later on, he carried over his strike rate. But that goes to show that even if Rohit Sharma decides to take a few balls to settle in, Rahul will play his natural game and he'll get started. Like he'll score quickly in the start. And then my only concern is I'm not sure if there's a chance that Ishan Kishan could play instead of Rishabh Pant because you saw in the second warm-up game he was keeping wickets. And that could be because he's been in better form slightly over Rishabh Pant. Even in the last couple of IPL matches, he was looking good with the bat. Apart from that, I think it's a pretty straightforward batting lineup as far as India is concerned.
So it's going to be a bit of a struggle, isn't it, to fit Ishan, Kishan, Surya, and everyone. So you are expecting, is it something you're expecting, or is it something you want to have? That Ishan should come in place of Rishabh?
I think Rishabh Pant will play, but there is a chance that Ishan Kishan could play. That's all
Yeah.
I'm saying. I think it'll be like as expected, like Rahul and Rohit at the top of the order.
Yeah.
1 down Kohli, 2 down Surya Kumar, and then Pant, Hardik, and Jadeja. That will be our top 7. But there is an argument for Pant coming 2 down and Surya Kumar 3 down. That's what we saw in one of the warm up matches, and that is because maybe they want to separate Pant and Jadeja a bit, because otherwise those two left-handers come pretty like they almost come at the same time, because they might send Jadeja ahead of Pandey if a situation is needed, because he looks in better touch, Jadeja.
Yes, definitely. Siddharth, one area I personally don't feel very incredibly confident, but obviously we do have some big names. Is the spin department. I don't know, man. I mean, yes, we have got the names, but somewhere down the line, their performance. Varun Chakravarti has been doing well in the IPL. Internationally, not that much of a proven record. Ravichandran Ashwin has shown some tendency of giving away runs, even in UAE, even in those slow conditions. We have Ravindra Jadeja, who's not going to pick you a lot of wickets, but he can chip in with economic spells. Do you think the spin department is is it a worry?
Look, I was worried before I saw that opening spell from Ashwin in the last
Yeah,
match. I think that was pretty beautiful.
yeah,
But again, I agree with you. No, I'm very confused as to what combination we're going to pick
exactly. Yeah,
because
confused is right. Yeah,
the time of the kulcha is gone. That's when we knew who was going to play each and every game. And right now, it's just that as you said, no one really fits the 100% except Jadeja. No one really 100. You can not point at someone and say that that's going to be 100%. This is the player who's going to be playing 100%, and that could be a worry because in tournaments like these you don't really get many chances. One off game and certainly struggling in the points table.
yeah.
Having said that, I feel I've said this. If you've been on so many lives with me for years, I said it 1 year ago, and I'm going to say it now. Your best spinner has to play. I'm not talking about Rahul Chahar. I'm
Mention.
talking about
Yeah,
Ravichandran Ashwin.
thank
you
you.
know, he has to play, and
Yep.
I am so glad they decided to pick him, and he has to play, man. He's just too special to be sitting on the bench, be it T20s, ODIs, or Tests or anything. So I'm gonna go with the veteran Jadeja Ashwin combination, and if needed, you always have a third impact spinner in the form of Varun Chakrabarti or the future captain Rahul Chahar as well, to say it. So, I mean, it doesn't look 100% decided, but I mean, it's not a crisis moment as well. You know, considering
Definitely. Yeah.
considering we were looking everywhere when we saw Chahal losing his form,
Yeah.
and then once he got out of the team, we found it back. So it's been a funny story, but I mean, I'm very confident that we have picked the right combination.
Yeah, that's the thing. No? Right now, we want everything to be so utopian. We want everything to be so ideal. And somewhere down the line, it doesn't really match our highly unnecessary standards. I think
Yeah,
that is the case right now.
Yeah.
When you put some sense into it, it isn't anything close to worrisome, especially if you show what we have to other teams. I think almost every team would take what we have. In fact, Prathamesh, coming to you, there is a little bit of confusion as to how the bowling attack might pan out, or at least transpire. Uh, do you think we are going with the proper three pacer thing with Hardik Pandya as a pacer, or
Oh.
or three different pacers, Hardik Pandya the batter, and three spinners?
Uh,
It's such a confusing thing, right now, because we don't know what is
Man,
happening with
I
Hardik.
mean, you could have just asked that. You could have just cut this video. You could have played the entire video that me and Sid did of Hardik Pandya, and then we would have just gotten the answer to this question. Well, see, it's very evident. It's incredibly evident, especially after Virat Kohli bowled whatever he bowls. I don't know what he bowls. Is it off spin? Is it leg spin? Is it just I don't
Swing.
know what he
He
does.
made the ball swing.
fast spin.
हाँ कुछ तो हुआ
Radam
बॉन्सर कुछ तो
fast.
हुआ 2 ओवर डाले उन्होंने अच्छे इकोनॉमी रेट से वाइड लाइन पे अच्छी बॉलिंग डाली that shows that Hardik Pandya is not ready to bowl. He's not bowling anytime. I'm pretty sure Virat Kohli is also not bowling anytime.
Yeah.
So
So
we
sorry to cut
I'm
you
basically,
off,
hoping
but
I'm hoping
that.
that's not bowling
Yeah,
anything.
it was just Australia not batting to their best of abilities, so that Virat will bowl when the
yeah,
tournament starts. That could be a
exactly.
case. I'm not even kidding. Yeah,
Virat can be the Stuart Binny. Bowl first over with the new ball, swing it, and then go away.
In fact, Virat was the person who bowled our last
Or a
ball
Joginder
of
Sharma.
the World T20.
Exactly, and they can pick the new ball against Pakistan. You never know.
Or be the Joginder Sharma and bowl the last over.
Oh my god.
He bowled the last ball of our last game in T20 World Cup against West Indies. Russell ने जो छक्का मारा था ना, याद है ना?
Well, I mean, again, it's for me. What happens in this case is like, I mean, for the Indian team, especially the way things have been happening. the combination that we kind of go for in terms of the pacers, I think we go with three pacers, and all of our pacers are more or less wicket-taking bowlers rather than people who stop runs. Essentially, you look at Bumrah; he does both the things really well. Shami does both the things really well. And I think you would need one of those players who has those X factor deliveries in his chain, someone who is trusted to take wickets, someone who's right in the face of the opponent, someone who thrives under extreme pressure situation, thrives under the fact that the opponent is trying to get the better of him. Shardul Thakur probably makes it here because not just it's not just what he can do with the ball. We know he can give you crucial crunch wickets in games. Yes, his economy is on the higher side. He goes in the eights or in the nines, but he will give you those two or three wickets, and not just any two or three wickets. He gets the kind of the people like Babar Azams and Mohammad Rizwans and Shoaib Maliks and everyone else. He gets the big wickets. So I think probably it's Shardul Shami, Bumrah. I don't think we're going to deviate much past that, but probably come games against Namibia and Scotland, we might probably end up getting the other bowlers a chance as well. If I mean, so that could potentially happen. That is when you could actually see Hardik bowl slow medium pace if that's even a category. So I think with the Pakistan game, it's quite evident we are going with these three players. Probably not even Bhuvi because Bhuvi just seems like he's not 100% match fit to bowl the kind of intensity with which you need in an India Pakistan game, especially. And I mean, the moment I think Afzal was talking about Shoaib Malik, since that very moment, all I could play in my head was that entire tribute that was given to Shoaib Malik. I mean, I don't think anyone has seen anything more funnier than that. So just the whole charade of three or four, esteemed guests of Pakistan just entering and going, and Shoaib Malik still being there. I could imagine that voice in my brain. I just wanted. All I can think of is after this video, just go and check that recording. But yeah, anyway, I guess coming back to topic, I guess we go with three pacers. We go with Ashwin. We go with. I think we go with Varun Chakravarti as well. I think simply because he's that mystery spinner. I don't know whether that's the case anymore. Whether he is actually a mystery spinner, whether the kind of lines and lengths that he has bowled are going to be useful early on in this tournament because the pitch is quite fresh. They aren't the similar 10 bar use kiya hua kind of pitches that we use in the IPL where at the end it just seemed like why are we even playing, right? Why are we even playing pace bowlers? So these are fresher pitches. They have a little bit of grass on them, just left to make sure the pitches last until the end of the World Cup. So probably early on you would like the fact that Ashwin's bowling, but then probably as we go towards these knockout games and once these pitches start to wear out a little bit, probably the extra slowness of Ashwin might not help. You might need the X factor that Varun Chakravarti brings in. So probably go with Ashwin early on, but then I think Varun Chakravarti could be crucial in games like this because again, you look at players like Babar, they tend to struggle. I think any most right-hand batsmen they tend to struggle with the ball skidding onto their somewhere around the off and middle stump, and that's difficult line to pick. So I think Varun Chakravarti does that pretty well. He challenges both edges. So it's just a coin toss for me. It would be sad to see Ashwin on the bench, but again, I could see Varun Chakravarti as well in this team.
Precisely. Exactly. I think, see, at least one thing we definitely know about a Virat Kohli team is that it won't be like an MS Dhoni team where he'll pick up 111 and he'll try it out for as many games as possible. And unless
Yeah.
he's sure decided that things are not working, there's going to be a change. So you can expect Virat Kohli to, constantly keep making those chopping and changing. But yeah, I think Ashwin maybe the first person to start would be Ashwin. I mean, I don't think anyone would be incredibly disappointed with that.
So the thing is that you said that this is a Virat Kohli's team and he loves doing changes, but you need to understand that the guy who is controlling the reins is MS Dhoni, and he will make his own team, and you will see fewer changes here.
Yeah, that is a possibility, but see, I mean, we are not. I'm not very sure how much of a ownership can MS Dhoni have on this team. I mean, to an extent, will that he might stop the changes from happening. But yeah, I mean that's a possibility. You never know.
It's
The most
almost as if we
authoritative,
needed that captaincy in the setup to win.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
and
needed that
it's like
stability,
yeah,
and that is what Dhoni gives you. You need to
yeah.
stick with the same team, with the same guys for a longer period of time, so that they can yield you good results,
I think he's
and
been
that is what
rewarded and
will happen.
considerably over the years. Maybe the IPL, maybe the national team. I think Dhoni's consistency of choice has
but
been
इतने
rightfully
सारे
Also,
matches
rewarded.
नहीं है ना.
one more thing
I
could
think we
be
have
That's
enough
the thing.
matches against smaller teams to work things out. If we can't beat them with our second string players, and I guess
Yeah,
it doesn't work out for us anyway. So why
yeah.
not experiment?
And also the thing is that this team has superstars.
yeah,
Each player, each one in the squad and the three reserves, they are all superstars in their own
indeed,
sense.
truly.
But you need that gel that binds 11 people that are playing on the field, and that binding gel is Dhoni.
Yes,
They all look up to him. Rahul has even mentioned in one of his interviews that having Dhoni brings in that sense of calmness, and he is someone that we have looked upon in the past as well, and he was our mentor, and he is still our mentor, and that is the reason why, and that is that calmness and that force that binds these 11 superstars who are individually brilliant players to make a brilliant team.
No, it's actually calming for the fans as well, not just the players.
Very.
To see Dhoni in the camp, it's just
Yeah.
gives you a sense of assurance that everything's under control.
And we
So
have
Also,
seen before, like the
while
Dhoni Virat Kohli combination works really well because they're like, I won't say they're very opposite to each other. I think their cricketing brains work on similar lines, but it's just that the way they do things are pretty different.
They complement
And
each other.
yeah, it
yeah,
complements each other pretty well. And also at the same point, while Kohli just, is very assertive in the way he does things, that extra bit of, tactical acumen that MSD brings into that game, I've been so amazed over the years watching at the very unique field positions Dhoni has put up. That is something I've probably rarely seen captains these days. That nonchalance that you see that bravery to do something really out of the box. That is what Dhoni brings. And I think
Also,
with that aggression, you need that tactical acumen. That what if you can have that blend properly in the team, there's nothing like it. And that's
don't
why I
need to
think,
hold the
as you guys
numbers.
talking about, yeah,
no.
good old. I
Also,
don't want him to hold numbers. I don't think. I just feel like it's just his. He just needs to give one stare, and that should be enough. I don't think he needs numbers.
hi, it will be the Chak De India final penalty shootout moment.
Yeah.
ये तो सीधा मारेगा.
No,
सीधा
proper, bro.
मारेगा.
I mean, 2016, exactly what happened, right? Dhoni could not do it. Now he's in almost in a coach capacity. Yeah,
no,
Kabir
no.
Khan.
One more
Yeah,
thing is that if you see the Indian think tank, most of the members of the support staff, they usually agree to what Kohli says. Most of his decisions are not counter questioned. If someone did that, that was Kumble. He did it, and we have seen what a major fallout that he had with the captain. So with Dhoni, there's someone who can cross question Virat, and he won't just ask him to shut up. So that is also
Yeah.
one thing.
Yeah.
You don't need to surround yourself with yes men, and that won't lead
true.
you to a title. And that is the reason why having Dhoni is very important in this Indian setup right now.
Fair enough. I mean,
Dislikes against huh?
sometimes it's just that you don't want to listen to the truth, and when you do hear it, you don't know if you have
Yeah.
to laugh or cry about it. It's just one of those classic scenarios. Anyways, India Pakistan is one great way of starting at least India's campaign. I mean, over the years, in fact, even ICC in the past has agreed that they draw India and Pakistan together intentionally, and I think the world has been fine with it. Chalo, let's. But India
Yeah.
and Pakistan again, some great memories over the past. If you guys have any individual moments that you recollect from, especially from the T20s, how many T20s have we played actually since the
5.
start? Besides the five, I think
I,
there's this one series, right? Which
yeah, we had
we
one in India.
one
उसमें
in
उसी में
India,
वो तब भी शोएब
2013.
मलिक था यार तब भी शोएब मलिक था उसने तब
Shoaib
भी
Malik
बाउंड्री
is
मारी
like the
थी
Gianluigi Buffon. वो किधर नहीं जाने वाला वो. He'll stay in some or the other capacity. It's about time we accept that fact. There is no point crying.
yeah
Shoaib Malik is not retiring. So,
Yeah,
guys, I'll start with you, Prathamesh. Your is any standout memory of this clash?
I mean, we have seen so many excellent batting, bowling, fielding. I mean, I don't know about much about fielding performances, but
Wow.
I think batting,
What a
bowling
start! So
performances we've
much
seen.
excellent batting, bowling, fielding. Wow.
Yeah,
There's
but
nothing
I
left.
feel the best one for me is going to be that bowl out. That bowl out, I just feel that entertainment, the the fun about it, the newness of that, that concept for us, and everything that was on the line because we knew we would qualify,
Proper
but it
Bakchodi.
was still, that was proper Bakchodi. And what we did with Uttappa and Harbhajan, and I think I don't
Sehwag,
remember the
Sehwag,
third guy who
Sehwag,
bowled.
Sehwag, Sehwag.
Sehwag.
Sehwag who bowled, and then with Umar Gul trying to unnecessarily bowl something, Shahid Afridi doing his usual fakey stuff, but the ball this time doesn't end up on the stump. So I mean, it was quite funny. Yuvraj's reaction was really funny. RP Singh was having his laughs out. So I mean, yeah, it was really great. And for me, in T20s, if I have to pick out, obviously it's that because it was perfect. I know there is a lot of amazing moments like Shrishant and everything else, but just on entertainment factor, this is probably the best. And as you say, Bakchodi full on, so why not?
So I think it's quite clear. The next person is going to say if he wants to be different, he'll pick up some Virat Kohli moments because there are one or two of them. We'll eventually end with which one the greatest scoop of all time. मतलब क्या I still don't understand Joginder Sharma ki pace pe with the player inside. The guy went for a scoop.
Just Misbah things.
And no, just Misbah things. And in both the games, Pakistan was
Misbah could
in a
have
good
finished the game.
position, and
Misbah could
he
have
was
finished the
the
game.
one
Who could have
who
finished the game? Yeah,
did not finish the game in the first league match and
Yeah,
also
in
in the
both
final as
games.
well. In both games, he was the one on strike and he choked and he did not lead his team to the title where they were favorites to win both the games.
yeah.
They had the game in their control and still it was Misbah Ulak who couldn't finish the job.
Unfortunately,
Legend of Misbah is
even in
just
the 2011 semi-final, although the task was way more significant, but somewhere down the line, if you look at it, Indian winning moments against Pakistan, at the last person involved in Pakistan is always Misbah.
Also,
2011 में वो catch दिया.
yeah.
Yeah,
this time, this time also, Misbah Ulak could have been at the realm of the Pakistan squad, but he
yeah,
resigned and he left because he was like, I can't do this job again. I can't be the scapegoat for the third time.
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I think it is a bit pointless going on with the memories. I think it's going to be uh, pretty much repetitive. Yes,
Yeah.
there was that one game where at the Eden Gardens, Virat Kohli had that half century, and people absolutely loved that moment. Obviously, from one person to the other, one great man of the previous generation to the other, which was a great one, and also the famous Misbah moment, which we will keep listening to in the next 2 days. You open
Oh,
news channels. This
Shrishant
is
almost dropped that
Indian
catch,
news
man.
channel.
I mean,
क्या भाई पकड़ लिया भाई अभी 13-14
all
साल के बाद क्या रो रहे हो तुम like what is the point of saying like tell
I
me
can't
what
believe it's been 14 years, Anurag. It's that just
ये
struck
बोला
me that how old we have become now. I mean,
इतने बूढ़े नहीं बने हम लोग वो टाइम पे बस चड्डी पहन रहे थे that's the only difference but okay I think a slightly more tweaked question Siddharth tried to move his mouth and say some words, but I don't know. I couldn't listen to anything. Players to watch out for. We'll go with each one of you get to have one pick. It could be from either side. You are, according to you, one player who could be brilliant on the day. To put it simply, start with Siddharth.
KLR, man. I mean, that guy is in insane form, and both the games. I mean, the kind of stuff he's pulling,
Yep.
it's just magical to look at. The man is in the form of his life. He's the best batsman in the world right now, and yeah, he is, man.
He is actually. I
Can't
won't.
deny
I
it.
would totally disagree.
yeah.
Yep.
And right now, this patch, I think, in terms of T20 cricket, is insane. So he's going to be the man, and not just for this game, for the tournament as well, because you just, I mean, I am awestruck and can't can't. I'm just excited to watch him play more than anyone else right now.
You know, I don't. I genuinely don't believe in the jinx thing. So I don't care what you guys think about it. But what we saw from Rohit Sharma in 2019, expectation बहुत था Rohit Sharma पे, and he delivered in a very very significant way. I have that kind of a vibe with KLR this time, that at least with the bat, at least to the extent that he can influence the game's result, he's going to be absolutely astounding. As yes, he is one of the very best in the world right now. Uh, had we come to Siddharth last, I think KLR would have been done and he would have gone with Rahul Chahar, which is quite evident. But will
Yeah.
Yasho, your choice?
So I think it's going to be Rohit Sharma's day.
Hmm.
Irrespective of how his IPL form has been, he's always performed for India.
Yeah.
And even in the second warm-up match, he showed his class. So I think Rohit Sharma is going to have a good game. And I would also like to add that I think Ravindra Jadeja might pick up a few wickets because Pakistan have a lot of right-handed batsmen. So I think that could come to the fore. And I was just checking some stats. I wanted to add this earlier, but the only Pakistan match which they have defeated India in T20s is it happened in 2012.
12, yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the last bilateral matches which we
I
played
think
against each
Mohammad
other.
Hafiz finished the game.
Yeah, Mohammad Hafiz and Shoaib Malik
Even
both
I
scored
think it
half
was Shoaib
centuries.
Malik.
Yeah, both scored half centuries. I think Malik was not out. So maybe like
Yeah.
just to please the Pakistani viewers, maybe like it could be a repeat because they both are still in their team somehow. And that day,
Yeah.
Jadeja had a bad day at the office, both with the bat and the ball. So maybe he can redeem himself this time.
Yeah,
Even
that series.
Dhoni is still around, but we are not letting him bat. So
Yeah, you remember that series? I think that was the second or third series after Yuvraj Singh's comeback from cancer. And I think that there was this game where he smashed Syed Ajmal for 3 sixes in a row, which still did, I think, some 72 of 36 or something. I can't remember. I think Yasho, the game that he was mentioning was the first T20 and we won the second T20.
Yeah, we won the second one. It was a 2-match series.
Yeah, I think that was the last time we've been a part of a bilateral series
Yeah,
with
true.
Pakistan. Anyways, Prathamesh, your player.
I so wanted to say Sarfaraz because I just feel like him right now, very sleepy. Because I mean, he's made a comeback in the national T20, so why not? I mean, but well, I honestly feel like I'm actually looking forward to Bumrah because there's been a lot of talk about T20 cricket and Jasprit Bumrah did national level that people are starting to find him as someone who could play his 4 overs out and probably just get away with 20-24 runs and still score off the other bowlers. And I think that was a pattern that became very evident in the IPL in the last couple of seasons. But I think this season, towards the second half at least, he's shown that while doing that, he's still able to create some incredible nuisance for the batsman. And I think we're going to see a lot of that against Pakistan, especially because these Pakistan batters are not used to playing Bumrah.
And he
It
has a
is
history against Pakistan.
and he has a history against Pakistan. Also, let's not forget the fact that he absolutely walks into the run up and the ball just suddenly hits you. So for
Yeah.
players who haven't played that a lot, it's going to be incredibly difficult. And with Bumrah's accuracy, I just am going to bank on him to
Yep.
pick up a few wickets.
Fair enough. और कौन बचा है? अफजल भाई बताओ.
Yeah, so the only thing that my prediction takes into account is that Pakistan does not have genuine spinners who can spin the ball, and because of only that reason, I bank on Virat Kohli to play a good knock because he has struggled against spin, but Pakistan will give him pace. Imad Wasim will bowl 2 overs up front with the new ball, so that is 2 less overs of spin that he needs to face in the middle overs. And Shadab Khan won't spin the ball; he'll feed him rubbish ball on the leg stump, and he'll capitalize on him. And that is why Virat Kohli is someone that I bank on to play a good knock.
I'm pretty sure Virat spins the ball
Afzal
more
has
than
been
Shadab.
dropping a lot of truth bombs today.
Afzal banking on Virat didn't work out well a month ago.
अफजल के साथ ना 4-5 पॉडकास्ट करेंगे ना, then there will be a compilation video of Afzal moments where he's just purely dropping facts which sometimes are painful to the ears. So I think because everyone has gone with the Indian players.
Yeah, Anuraag, what do you think?
I don't need you to ask me. I'm the moderator. This is my channel. I'll ask myself. I don't need to ask myself. I'll just jump into it directly. I personally feel I personally like Babar Azam, the batsman. I genuinely hope he gets out for a duck of the first ball. Bumrah like absolutely like normal तरीके से भी नहीं वो middle stump के दो
They're
दो
not,
pieces
not
That
चाहिए.
ball that
they're
Jofra
not playing
bowled.
Zimbabwe. It's okay. I mean, we'll get
Remember
him
the
out.
ball that Jofra bowled in the World Cup when it hit the stump and went
Yeah,
for six? That's
actually,
what
yeah.
should happen.
Yeah.
Absolutely would love that. I mean, having said that, Babar Azam has been an absolute top cricketer in the last few years, and I don't know. I think I haven't been following his recent form at least because Pakistan have not been playing. Unfortunately, they have not been playing a lot of cricket for multiple reasons. Uh, he could be a threat. I am still as much as I would, get into the banter zone once he gets out. As long as he is there, I think he's going to be a huge threat because this is in a long time actually they are having a proper T20 quality cricketer because that is something Pakistan have always lacked in my opinion because I don't think they've ever had a proper consistent T20 batter in their side, and as
Why
well as
Shoaib
Mohammad
Malik
Rizwan.
offend ho gaya?
I
Also,
said
Rizwan
proper.
Rizwan has had a mad ass
Yep.
PSL lately. I
Yes,
don't
Yeah.
know.
he did. He did,
I
especially
think
yes.
Shaheen Afridi also looked pretty good.
Yeah, I think he could pick up a few wickets.
But still,
Let's
there's
see.
unpredictability attached to Pakistan as
Yeah,
always.
man.
Yeah.
You just never know with Pakistan, but let's hope things don't turn out that way. But before we finish, your final predictions, guys. That
India wins, bro. India wins. I mean, it's not going to be close for sure. I think it's going to be a bit comforting.
I hope so. Afzal,
Do you really need to ask this question?
no
We win
formality.
comfortably, hands down, bro.
तुम दोनों का भी ऐसा ही है तो I can just delve into the final.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
if I had to put it that in a nice way, I mean, if any Pakistan fans are watching, I think you could comfortably watch the United Liverpool second half because cricket match is going to be done by then. We are going to win that quickly.
Last,
that yeah, sure.
remember the
Just to have a little different answer, I would say that the only way Pakistan win this game is if they destroy India's top order somehow. If they do it, like they have the pace bowlers capable of doing it, but I don't think it's going to happen. But that's the only way they're going to win a match.
And that
Otherwise,
too when they're bowling first.
yeah, that too when they're bowling first and they like restrict India to around 100 or maybe even less than that. I know it's not likely to happen, but that's the only way they win. If they otherwise the score could go above 160, 170, and then Pakistan are not going to reach there.
Absolutely. Honestly, I think, yeah, even I was considering one of those perspectives. I think if India bats second, Pakistan absolutely don't stand a chance.
Yeah, same.
I just genuinely have that feeling. But anyways, it's one can never say never with Pakistan. I mean, these fellas just lost horribly to us in the 2017 opener, and they ended up winning the tournament. I mean, the heights of unpredictability, man. Like you just never know what kind of a team turns up. Let's hope it's an interesting game, and let's also hope it's not an interesting game and it ends soon, so that the football fans can switch to the other games as well. I mean, 24th October. I know a lot of people are absolutely hyping it up, but यार थोड़ा commercial point of view से भी सोचो इतने सारे world class matches एक दिन में stack up कर दिए. Anyways, thank you so much guys for watching. We will try and keep recording, coming to you with more content on a weekly basis, at least covering whatever games that are happening. And see you soon until then.